I'd love to go back to the earliest, the earliest days with MicroAcquire, and then what were like the first steps that you took to start it as a marketplace?
Hit the phones, called everybody. I think that's one thing that I always, when I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, their dream is to build like this vending machine where you don't have to do anything. No one asks you any questions. People just sign up. It's free trial. They upgrade, and it just sits there and it just grows. But that's not the reality unless you're like Calendly or something like that. So I called every VC I knew, every accelerator I knew, every private equity group I knew. So I got buyers on board. And then I reached out to a lot of startups, walking them through the product, on board, because it was, MicroAcquire was kind of jank when I first launched it. Not bad, but there was still a lot of missing components, and there's a lot of things I didn't know, like, how should I format these listings? What are some pains or ways I can help founders connect with buyers easier? So, seeded the marketplace a little bit, probably got like 20 startups in there, something like that, and then had like 100 buyers registered, and then launched on Product Hunt and got product of the day. So that little spark kind of started the fire. But even still after that, I took every phone call, anyone who wanted to talk about, any buyer, any seller, just gathering as much feedback and just building, I guess, like these relationships too. So I would say that's the secret thing. And then immediately also started focusing on other channels like SEO, which I highly recommend starting early. Big on social. I don't know how much impact that has yet because we can't track it. We're about to be able to. And then I wrote a book on acquisitions, lots of content. But yeah, I think the main thing in terms of getting started was not being afraid to just talk to people, like get their feedback, let them tell you it sucks. And when they tell you it sucks, like take that as a compliment. You don't want everyone to just say it's great, it's great, it's great. You want to hear, Bill Gates has a good quote. Bill Gates has kind of done some weird stuff recently. But anyways, he has a quote like your most frustrated customers are usually the best source of feedback or something like that. And I truly believe that. So yeah, I was really looking for harsh feedback on like what would work. And candidly, a lot of it from like the major PE firms was like, that'll never work. Like you're competing against like cold emails and this and that. And so, even though I even heard, some people saying they were launching like the same thing and like so I was like, okay, game on. Sounds like there's something here. That was probably the best feedback I got is like, we're working on something similar. And I was like, all right, there's something here. Other people believe in this market. I mean, that feedback right there was, some are big players. I won't say the names, but people I admire and respect, bigger social followings, more capital than me. Literally like we're launching something similar, and even still I push forward. And yeah, so I hope that's helpful. But long story short, it was really just connecting with as many people as I possibly could, joining every podcast I was invited onto. And just a lot of hard work. Like a lot of people think launching marketplaces is like really easy. You just kind of launch it, have an SEO strategy, and then people just start coming. Like I had to brute force MicroAcquire to work. Like convincing a startup founder to list their startup for sale on a marketplace is kind of crazy. And so I just kind of pushed that boulder up the hill, and once you kind of get that boulder up the hill, you start to see this flywheel effect. So now my mornings every day, I don't usually talk to founders now due to time constraints, or even buyers for that matter. I have a templated email. If you reach out to me and you've gotten one, I apologize, but it's gotten to a point where it's humanly impossible for me to speak with every buyer and seller, because we have such a strong flywheel created. So every day I wake up to about 50 startups submitted with completed profiles, and we go through those and we determine which ones are good fits for MicroAcquire, which ones aren't. Give them a reason for, if they're not, prepare their profiles if they are ready, and then we take them live. So long-winded answer,